Dear student, this is Shailesh Devda Janbandhu from Department of BCom Computer Application, GS College of Commerce, Wardha. Today's topic is data communication. Just like we say that when when we pass the data to the computer system, then the computer system can operate on it, or the commands can be executed. So to operate the computer system, we need a data. So data is nothing but the information which is passed to the computer system by user. So data communication is transmitting the data from one location to the another using wired or wireless transmission medium. The combination of computing and data communication technology is the most exciting development that we have or in the information age. This development gave birth of computer networks. A network is nothing but the geographical distribution of computers and connected to a manner to enable meaningful transmission and exchange of data from one location to another, or one component to another component, or one computer system to another computer system. So when we talk about the data communication, we should know which type of element we need for the data communication. The basic element of any communication system are a sender that create the information or source where the message is created and sent by a sender. Number second is medium, that is the message is carries from one place to another using a medium. Next one is a receiver. The message is sent to a particular person or particular location or computer system. So we need a receiver for receiving the sended message. Means sender, medium and the receiver are most important element of data communication. Next one is message, because when we have a data, we should send that data or information from one place to another. So we need a message transferring from sender using the medium and received by the receiver. And last point or element is that the protocol. Protocol refers the rules and regulations which coordinate the exchange of information by both sender as well as receiver. Follow the same protocol to communicate the data. Next one is data transmission mode. Means data can be flow between link devices from one location to another component, or one location to another location, one computer to another computer. So the signal flow from one direction or use both direction. On the basis of these, we have three mode of data transmission, that is simplex, half duplex and full duplex. The simplex. Number one is simplex. In simplex mode, the communication can take place in only one direction. In this mode, the terminal can only send data and cannot receive it, or it can only receive data but cannot send it. According to the diagram, the transmitter transmit the direction of data and receiver receive it, and the receiver receive it. Okay, means the data will be flow from one direction to another one. Just like when we type on the keyboard, that time we pass the information through keyboard to the CPU, central processing unit. Means this type of operation, data will be transmit from keyboard to the central processing unit, or CPU transmit the data to the printer. Same way, in both the example, data will be transmitted from one location or one component to another one. Just like in keyboard, we can type but we cannot get the information or data from the CPU to keyboard, or the CPU or computer system transmit the data for the printing to the printer. not by the printer to the computer system. This type of example or transmission is called as a simple, where the data will be transmitted from one place to another in a singular way. Hub duplex. Hub duplex communication system can transmit the data in both directions, but alternatively, means once the data will be sent and then the data will be received, one work at a time, one transmission at a time, means the both transmitter and receiver cannot send the data at a simultaneously. They should send and receive the information or data alternatively. Therefore it uses the two wires, one for sending and second for receiving. Just like two lane in railway, one route is used for the upward and second route is used for the downward, means on simultaneously if both the data will be transmit on single line, that time the accident may be happen. Therefore all the things are goes one line to upward and second line for the downward or receiving and transmitting. Now third one is a full duplex. A full duplex system need to switch direction each time the direction of data transfer reverse. This requires a special switching circuit and a delay of about 150 milliseconds. It is fastest directional mode of communication. Here if you see the image, the transmission flow at both end, means the transmitter send the data on same line and receive it by same line, means data will be transmit from one place to another and another place to one. Just like if we use a pen drive, it used for input as well as output, means we can access the data which is stored into the pen drive as well as we can retrieve the data which is stored into the pen drive. Same bus will be executed or same switching circuit is used to store the data or to retrieve the data. Here data will be transferred from pen drive to computer system and computer system to pen drive. Both work are done in a simultaneous way. Okay, in Simplex the data transmission from one to another one way is used. In hub duplex the two lines are used, one is sending and second one is receiving. And hub duplex same line is used or same connectivity is used to receive the data and to send the data. Then types of data transmission. There are two types of data transmission, that is parallel transmission and second one serial transmission. In parallel transmission, bit of data flows concurrently through separate communication line. The automobile traffic on a multi-lane highway is an example of parallel transmission. Inside the computer, the binary data flow from one unit to another using parallel mode. The printer is the most dot matrix printer is the most example or important example of parallel transmission. The data will be flow from pins or parallel lines. The bit is transmitted from 8 line or 4 line parallel port to computer system, from computer system to the printer. It is the very fast transmission mode. Second one is a serial transmission. It is also called a bus transmission. In serial data transmission, bit of flow in sequential order through single communication line. Just like our pen drive and the port for the pen drive is called a serial port. Serial port, USB port, universal serial port. Okay. So the flow of traffic one lane residential street is an example of serial data transmission mode, where the upward and downward communication is serially transmitted from lower, and its transmission speed is slower than the parallel transmission. Okay, then there are some media to communicate the data from one unit to another unit. We need a media, and that media is called as a data transmission media or channels for the transmission media. We have different types of transmission media, just like twisted pair, coaxial pair cable, fiber optic, microwave, satellite communication. These are some transmission media or channels for transmitting the data from one unit to another one. First one is a twisted pair cable. A twisted pair wire consists of two bunch of thin copper wires, each bunch enclosed separately in plastic insulation, then twisted around each other to reduce interference by adjacent wires. It is also called unshielded twisted pair UTP cable because other than the plastic coating around the two individual bunches of copper wires, nothing shield in from outside interference. Just like our electricity cables, the both cables are coated by the plastic cover, but the inner part of the portion, just like solid copper conductor and outer insulation of PVC, that is plastic. It is always used or commonly used in LAN connectivity. The data transmission speed of twisted pair cable is 9600 bits per second up to distance of 100 meters. For long distance telephone line speed up to 1200 bits per second. Second one is coaxial cable, just like our dish antenna or cable, dish cable, which has some portions just like jacket, shield, insulator and center conductor. Coaxial cable groups of specially wrapped and insulated wire lines cable of transmitting data at high rate. A thin copper wire inside the tube, insulated material surrounded by shield, mesh or conducting wire, again insulated on the outside. This is similar to wire used to connect antennas to video or TV equipment. Just like our cable connection wire is nothing but a coaxial cable through which we transmit the visual data to our set-top box, and that set-top box convert the data or convert the instructions or signals into digital form and provide us a picture on our TV set. Next one is a optical fiber or fiber optic. In comparison to twisted pair and coaxial cable, the optical fiber consists of thin glass fiber that can carry information in the form of visible light. It is the translucent and flexible material through which laser light can travel over the distance. Optical fiber has the capability to carry information at vastly greater speed. A single optical fiber can pack hundreds of fibers, where each fiber has the capacity equivalent to that of thousands of twisted pair wires. Just like in a diagram, we have cover, then cladding or glass, and we have a core glass which has some soothe core, jacket and cladding cover. Microwave. Another type of data communication is a microwave, which is a wireless type of communication. Before that we use the twisted paper cable, it is a wire, coaxial cable again wired, and fiber optic again wired. Means these three transmission medias are the wire transmission media. Now microwave is a wireless type of communication which transmit the data over a line site only, visible contact. Means the data will be transmitted from one line to another line. From input the transmitter line will be goes to the antennas. That antenna passes the information from line to line on transmission line and receive to the output terminal. Microwave signals are similar to radio and television signals, which are used to transmit data without use of cables. Microwave signals are transmitted by antenna placed on the top of the building and mounted. Microwave signals use the upper atmosphere reflective surface ranges transmission limit about 30 miles. The transmission of microwave has some advantages, just like the data transmission speed is 16 GB per second, means within a second we can transmit 16 GB of data from one end to another end. No specific way required, just like in cable we should connect both the end of the cable to the computer system or equipment. Here microwave doesn't need a specific way. We can travel, or it can travel by airs. Okay, low cost as compared to other wireless media. Just like another wireless media is satellite. Therefore satellite are most expensive, then the microwave is less expensive than the satellite. Microwave communication is widely used for broadband communication and telephone services. It has some disadvantage also. It will stop by solid object like wall or hills. If in the two unit or two locations or two antennas, between the two antennas some walls or hills are available, then the data or the signal will be stopped. For example, if we are in a room with our telephone or mobile phone, the signal will become, or our mobile doesn't get a signal inside the room, but when we are on ground, the signal will be catch by the mobile phone. Same way, when hills or objects or walls are in between the two transmission medias or two antennas, the signal will be stopped. After traveling long distance, signal become weak. This is most important problem. To avoid this, we need a transmission amplifier. The transmission amplifier amplify the signals and send it to another way. Requirement of transmitter receiver which are on site only. If we are not on site, just like if someone call us and we do not receive the call, we cannot communicate the data from one place to another. Means when we transmit the data, the sender as well as the receiver should available on transmission media. Capital investment is very high. An individual person cannot establish antennas. Therefore, the capital investment is very high. The satellite communication. The first use of satellite is communication is also a wireless communication, and it is firstly used by NASA in 1960. The communication satellite are microwave relay station placed in a outer space. It placed in a geosynchronous orbit 30,000 km above the Earth. Satellites are located above the fixed point on Earth. Each satellite can receive and transmit signals. Transmission stations and receiving stations uses antenna to communicate with the satellite. The transmission which is on the Earth transmit microwave signals at 6 GHz to the satellite position in space. When the signals reaches to the satellite, it becomes weak to 30,000 km of travel. The satellite amplifies the weak signal and transmits it back to the Earth at the frequency of 4 GHz. This signal is received at the receiving station on the Earth. This is also used for mobile applications such as communication to ship, vehicles, planes, handheld terminals, TV, radio broadcasting, etc. In the diagram, we have two satellites that is originate on ground station, means which transmitter and the receiver destination. It transmits the data to the solar panels and again enhance and to transmit the destination ground station. The advantages of it is a single microwave relay station which is visible from any point of very large area. High transmission speed and error detection is easy. And the disadvantage is that communication through satellite is highly costly and security measures are required to prevent the unauthorized tapping of information. Last portion is modem. Modem stand for modulator and demodulator. Modulator convert digital signals generated by computer into analog signals. Demodulator convert an analog signals into digital signals. The goal is to produce the signals that can be transmitted easily and decoded to reproduce the original digital data. To connect a computer, we need to have modem and telephone line to transmit data. As this telephone line is meant for analog transmission only, and computer use digital data, that data must be converted into analog before transmitting over the telephone line at the sender end and vice versa at the destination end. Just like when we operate on the computer system, the data will be in the form of digital, but the accuracy or transmission speed of digital data is very low than the analog signals. Therefore, it can be translated from digital to analog and transmit the data to the sender's receiver's end, and again that data should be converted from analog to digital one. So this is our chapter, and thank you for the session.